vadrani vilunoti sutsatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 1, Text 14. Iti Uchivansha Tatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkritaha Sat Sprihaniya Shila Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena Iti Uchivansa Tatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkritaha Satsfuraniya Shilaha Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena Ityuchvamsa Tatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkrita Satsfuraniya Shilaha Asatkrita Satsfuraniya Shilaha Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena Ityuchivamsa Tatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shilaha Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena. Please chant.
Ityuchivamstatra Suyodhanena
Ityuchivamstatra Suyodhanena
Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena
Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena
Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila
Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila
Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena
Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena
Iti Uvacham Tantra Suddhitana
Ityuchivamstatra Suyodhanena
Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena
Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena
Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila
Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila
Shatta Samantra Judro Sabalena
Sakarnamuja Sobalena Ityuchivamstatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena Ityuchivamstatra Suyodhanena Pravriddha Gopa Sfuritadharena Asatkrita Satsprihaniya Shila Shatta Sakarnamuja Sobalena. Word to word meaning. Iti. Thus. Ucharivan. While speaking. Tatra. There. Suyodhanena. desirable qualities.
desirable qualities.
Shakta,
Shakta,
Vidura,
Vidura,
Sa, with,
with,
Karna,
Karna,
Karna, Anuja,
Anuja,
younger brothers,
younger brothers.
Sobalena,
Sobalena,
with Shakuni.
Shakuni.
Translation and Prabhupada. Translation. While speaking thus, Vidura, whose personal character was esteemed by respectable persons, was insulted by Duryodhana, who was swollen with anger and whose lips were trembling. Duryodhana was in company with Karna, his younger brothers, and his maternal uncle Shakuni. Translation, please repeat. While speaking thus,
Now speaking thus,
Vidura,
Vidura,
whose personal character
whose personal character
was esteemed
was esteemed
by respectable persons,
by respectable persons,
was insulted by Duryodhana,
was insulted by Duryodhana,
who was swollen with anger
who was swollen with anger,
and whose lips were trembling.
and whose lips were trembling.
Duryodhana was in company
Duryodhana was in company
with Karna,
with Karna,
his younger brothers,
his younger brothers,
and his maternal uncle
and his maternal uncle,
Shakuni.
Shakuni.
But it is said that giving good counsel to a foolish person causes the fool to become angry, just as feeding milk to a snake only increases its venomous poison. Saint Vidura was so honorable that his character was looked up to by all respectable persons. But Duryodhana was so foolish that he dared to insult Vidura. This was due to his bad association with Shakuni, his maternal uncle, as well as with his friend Karna, who always encouraged Duryodhana in his nefarious acts. Om Agyadatiram Rasyayanam Janashalakaya Chakshurmritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Yatkripātamaham Vande Shri Gurun Digatāriyam Vanchakalpataruscha Kripa Sindhubhyo Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindaveshwari Vrishabhanusate Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This verse 14. While speaking thus, Vidura, whose personal character was esteemed by respectable persons, was insulted by Duryodhana, who was swollen with anger and whose lips were trembling. Duryodhana was in company with Karna, his younger brothers, and his maternal uncle Shakuni. It's a very short purport, so we'll kind of revise what we have done. In the earlier verses, and we saw how in the previous chapter at the end, we saw last week basically with the lifespan of Brahma. The whole thing in the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam is Etecham Shakala Pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. That Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is the main thing throughout the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we see different stories, different pastimes, wherein this point is being proved 100%. Just like we saw last week, that how the secondary creator, Brahma, since Krishna is the primary creator, even Brahma's lifespan, if we consider, is so vast. We saw how it was, 311 trillion and how many, 40 billion years in the universe. And even that lifespan of Brahma, although it seems vast from our human calculations, but in the scheme of this entire cosmic creation or eternity, it's just like a flash. Like when you see the lightning, it's compared to the flash of lightning. Right? When you see the lightning in the sky, how many seconds it lasts? Right? Just very few seconds. So similarly, the lifespan of Brahma is in the same way if we consider the perspective of the whole eternity, the creation aspect, creation and destruction aspects of by the Lord. And we've come further into the beginning of this chapter, this conversation happening between Maitreya Rishi and who? Vidura, Saint Vidura. And this conversation is narrated by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So we see prominently 2 or 3 different points here. The first point being pointed out in one of the verses before, it says Yadu Yadu Nandana, that Krishna is the Yadu Nandana, is the king of the Yadus. But in fact, it says in that particular verse that how all the entire world was under his kingdom, or this Bharatavarsha, or this entire world was under his rule. So the Yadu dynasty was ruling. So who can challenge Yadu dynasty? Just like even we see when Krishna and Arjuna and Duryodhana went to ask, this is before the war of Mahabharata, they went to Krishna. And Krishna said, well, what can I do? You know, there is a choice he gave to Duryodhana. He said that if you want, you can have my Akshamuni Sena, or you can have my army, right? Which cannot be defeated. And on one side it's me, so you can choose between me and my army. And he gave the same choice to Arjuna. So what did Arjuna choose? Of course, Krishna, right? And then Duryodhana was thinking, oh, how foolish he is. You can have this incomparable army, and instead Arjuna has chosen Krishna. So this is the quality of one who is a non-devotee, a bhakta. And we see, or we saw in previous verses, that the proof, all these verses or Vidura is advising Dhritarashtra that how Krishna, or one who's being favored by Krishna, especially the Pandavas and Arjuna, they cannot be defeated by any means. Jake rakhe Krishna, take namare koi, and Jake mare Krishna, take namare koi, which means to one who Krishna protects, Jake rakhe Krishna, to that personality nobody can kill. Right? And we see that time again and again in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are so many pastimes proving that fact that if Krishna wants to protect, then nobody in this world can kill that person. And in the pastimes of Prahlad Maharaj, we saw that how he was tried by so many different ways, tossed from the top of the hill, put in the fire, put among the poisonous snakes, and so many different tribulations. But who was protecting him? Krishna is protecting him. So even the demon like Hiranyakashipu, he couldn't do any harm to Krishna. Jake rakhe Krishna, who is protected by Krishna, take namare koi. He cannot be killed by anyone, no matter how much powerful that person is. And even we see one more instance or incident when the Ashwatthama released this Brahmastra, right? We see Brahmastra is equal to a nuclear weapon. Nowadays we have all these nuclear missiles. And of course we can counteract those by all these anti-missiles and whatnot. But if a person has to counteract those nuclear missiles, can they? But we see in that incident that how Krishna, when Arjuna prayed, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. What is that verse? Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho. Bhaktanam Abhayankara. That he's the one, Krishna is the one who is instilling fearlessness in the hearts of his devotees. And Arjuna is praying to Krishna that, oh mighty on Krishna, please come and save. I was listening to this very beautiful talk by Radhikaraman Prabhu. We all know him. He's from Boise. And he was giving one talk, and he was mentioning that how we should approach the Lord. You know, of course, it says that, what is there? Akamos sarva kamovas moksha kamo udharadi, that we can approach Krishna even if we have some material desires. But he was mentioning that if we go in front of Krishna with all the list of things we want, but before we ask anything from Krishna, we should offer him some prayers. Right? That's why whenever we come to the temple, we bow down to the spiritual master, and what we do, we are offering pranam. Right? What is it called? Pranam mantra. We are offering pranam mantra. We are going in front of the deities. We are offering Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dinabandho Jagatpate, Gopesh Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namaste. So different prayers we are offering. So every time we go to Krishna, we are always, oh Krishna, give me this, give me that. You know, just like the Christians, they pray, give me my daily bread. Right? But then, we as devotees, he was mentioning that we should, we should first, at least, we should go and first ask Krishna, oh Krishna, how are you? Right? How, you're dressed so beautifully, with all these different ornaments, you have such a beautiful smile. And if we can't offer any prayers of our own, then there are all these beautiful prayers by different devotees in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Right? Prayers by Queen Kunti, prayers by Prahlad, prayers by Dhruva Maharaj, very beautiful prayers. We can memorize those prayers and offer those prayers. Just like Kunti Maharani is praying, Namaste Pankajangre, what is that? आइए प्रभु जी, कुंती महारानी का वो क्या है प्रार्थना? नमस्ते. You know the beginning of it? Everybody knows the beginning of this prayer? नहीं, इसका starting क्या है? नमो पंकज नाभाय, नमो पंकज मालिने, नमो पंकज नेत्राय, नमस्ते पंकजांगे. That she is praising the beautiful form of the Lord by very beautiful prayers. So before when we ask anything from Krishna, we have to ask about him and offer our prayers to him. Then of course Krishna is there for the protection, just like in that instant when Krishna is being praised. First he's being praised, and then after the prayers he's immediately saying, and now please come and help. Right? And then Krishna is coming into the womb of Uttara, because the nuclear of the Brahmastra was being released by Ashwatthama to kill the last progeny of the Pandavas who was in the womb of Uttara. And then what does Krishna does? He enters the womb of Uttara and protects that progeny. And who's that child? Parikshit Maharaj. Right? And because that's what when he had the darshan, that beautiful darshan of the Lord, and he was mesmerized with that darshan, and immediately the Lord disappeared. And Parikshit Maharaj was always wanting to see that same Lord. So when he came out of the womb, he was always examining everybody. Oh, is he that Lord who protected me? Right? And that's why his name is also Parikshan, because he did Parikshan or examining. His name was also Parikshit. Sorry? I can't hear you, sorry.
Always looking?
Yes, he was always examining Parikshan. Parikshan means to examine that, oh, where is that Lord of mine? So that's why his name is Parikshit, or Parikshit Maharaj. So that is the one quality, that one who's been protected by Krishna, nobody can kill him. But also the opposite is true. If Krishna wants to kill someone, nobody can protect that person. Right? And who's the classic example of that? No, I'm saying the opposite. You're not paying attention.
Ravan.
Yes, Ravan. Ravan was killed because he was such a powerful personality and he had so many great warriors to protect him. Right? they couldn't do anything because Ramachandra, he just by his arrow, one arrow was killed. And even there's another pastime where Shishupal, right? Shishupal, he came and he was abusing Krishna by such harsh words. And this was in front of the assembly of kings, so many kings, and there were so many kings who were supporting or they are in favor of Shishupal. You know, what do you call the birds of the same feathers flock together. So they had, Shishupal did have his supporters in that assembly. And in that big assembly in the court, Shishupal was going on and on, abusing Krishna with all this nasty words. And Krishna, what was he doing? He was very calm, right? And what was he waiting for? Anybody knows? What was he waiting for? What was Krishna waiting for? I mean, he could have immediately, killed Shishupal. What was he waiting for? Somebody said.
You have to wait for a certain number?
Yes, because he had promised to Shishupal's mother, Krishna had promised to Shishupal's mother that I will excuse 100 offenses by Shishupal. But as soon as he comes to that 100, then he will be finished. So Krishna is there. He had a counter. Krishna is there, very calm and quiet. And as soon as that 100th offense and the Sudarshan Chakra is invoked and Shishupal is gone, he couldn't be protected by anyone. Right? Although he had all these famous kings supporting Shishupal. So Jake Mare Krishna, Take Rakhe Koi. One whom Krishna decides to kill, no one can protect that person. So we see all these qualities. And then coming further in one of the verses here, we saw that how, I think that was yesterday's verse, that Vidura is advising to Dhritarashtra that you should give up the company of your son because he is a abhakta. You have lost all your good qualities because he is an abhakta. And what is the meaning of abhakta? Anybody knows? What is, of course we know what is bhakta. And so what is the opposite of bhakta? Bhakta is a devotee, so opposite of bhakta is a non-devotee. Right? So he is addressed as a, let's see if we can find this verse. It says here, I think yesterday's verse. He says, you are maintaining offense personified Duryodhana as your infallible son, but he is envious of Lord Krishna. And because you are thus maintaining a non-devotee, a bhakta of Krishna, you are devoid of all auspicious qualities. So we can see that one who is a non-devotee, they cannot have any good quality. Although in the material world we can see that there are so many personalities, there are so many people, there will be great scholars, great scientists, right? In material terms they have got very good qualities. But if they are a non-devotee, then harava bhaktasya kutoha mahatguna. There's a very beautiful verse in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam when the residents of Jambudvip, they are offering these prayers and they are mentioning this beautiful verse. Yes, beautiful. Actually, we can chant. I think we have this verse here. Yasyasa bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gune yatra samasati suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena sati dhavato bhavi. So here's the verse. Please chant after me. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana sarve gunes tatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahatguna manorathena sati dhavato bhavi. So it's a very simple Sanskrit. If you see each and every word, it says yasyasti bhakti Bhagavati. So one who's performing bhakti to Bhagavati, who is Bhagavati to Lord Krishna. Akinchana means that which is without motive, right? Without any material motives. So sarva gunas, all the good qualities. Sarva means all, and gunas means qualities. Sarva gunas tatra. So tatra in that person. Samasate suraha. So what is the meaning of sura? We have asura, right? We know who is asura. What is asura is?
Demon.
Demon. So opposite of asura is demigods, right? So which means the sarva gunas tatra samasate sura, that all the good qualities of the sura, the demigods, they are in the person who is a devotees. And the next word is hara abhaktasya, but one who is abhakta of hara, of hari. So what happens to such a person? What is such a person? Kuto mahadguna, where is, kuto is like a question. The question is kuto mahadguna. There cannot be any mahadguna. This again, this same word guna, the quality. There can be any good quality in such a person. Manorathena sati dhavato vahi. So if we read the whole translation, it says, all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. That is Krishna. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So we see this similar thing happening in case of Duryodhana, and mostly because he was also surrounded, just like the current verse says, that he had all this association of different personalities, mainly Shakuni, who are giving them, or who are giving him all ill advice, because they also are abhaktas or non-devotees. The personalities mentioned are Karna, Shakuni, and his other brothers. Although in the case of Karna, it's a little different issue, just like Maharaj was mentioning yesterday, that he was not that, what was the word? He's, just because of his enviousness to the Pandavas, he was supporting Duryodhana. But Karna, he was a very generous personality, and he had so many good qualities. So furthermore, the current verse, actually we don't have, it just mentions the qualities of Duryodhana. It says that, Prabhupada mentions the purport, it says that a good counsel to a foolish person causes the foolish to become more angry, just as feeding milk to a snake only increases its venomous poison. Saint Vidura was so honorable that his character was looked up to by all respectable persons. But Duryodhana was so foolish that he dared to insult Vidura. And so we will see furthermore, because Krishna cannot tolerate insult to his devotees. Right? And we saw that in case of the famous example, or the famous story of Ambarish Maharaj, that how he was insulted by, who's that, Durvasa Muni.
Jai Shri Bhagavatam ki jai.
Shri Panchatattva ki jai. And he has to run all over the three worlds to seek protection. And ultimately he went to Vishnu, Krishna, because the Sudarshan Chakra, which was chasing Durvasa Muni, is a weapon of Krishna. And Krishna said, sorry, I can't do anything. You have to go to the person who you have offended. And we saw how Durvasa Muni went to Ambarish Maharaj and begged forgiveness, and he was forgiven. So this particular verse, we are seeing how Duryodhana is insulting Vidura, and in upcoming verses we will see how or the qualities of Vidura are being exemplified, that how he is tolerating this insult by Duryodhana. And we will see furthermore verses we will share in the Torah. We will hear from the other devotees. So I would like to stop here. If anyone has any questions or comments. If not, I will read the purport to that verse we just chanted. So any questions or comments? Or any additions to what we heard today? It was more like a revision of what the previous verses spoke. Alright, so the purport to 5, 8, 12, which we chanted, was Yasyasi Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Sarvaya Ganesh Samasate Suraha Harava Bhaktasya Kuto Mahadguna Manorathena Sati Dhavatu Bhahi. So it's a beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada. You would like to read? Can you see?
Starting. In explaining the next verse, Krishna is the original source of all living entities. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:7, wherein Krishna says, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana Mana Sashtani Nidhyani Prakriti Shtanika Shakti. The living entities in this conditional world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore, when they revive their original Krishna consciousness, they possess all the good qualities of Krishna in a small quantity. When one engages himself in the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Shakyam, Atmanivedanam, one's heart becomes purified and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. In the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, there is a description of some of the qualities of devotees. For example, Sri Pandita Haridas is described as being very well behaved, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, and grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly. His endeavors were very pleasing. He was always patient, he respected everyone, he always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. These are all originally qualities of Krishna, and when one becomes a devotee, they automatically become manifest. Shri Krishna Das Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. Krishna Das Kaviraj lists the following 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. He is very kind to everyone. He does not make anyone his enemy. He is truthful. He is equal to everyone. No one can find any fault in him. He is magnanimous. He is mild. He is always clean. He is without possessions. He works for everyone's benefit. He is very peaceful. He is always surrendered to Krishna. He has no material desires. Everyone's benefit. He's very meek. He's steady. He controls his senses. He does not need more than required. He is not influenced by the Lord's illusory energy. He offers respects to everyone. He does not desire any respect for himself. He is very grave. He is merciful. He is friendly. He is poetic. He is expert. He is silent.
Thank you. So we all have to reflect on all these qualities and see how much of this we are all practicing or possessing. And of course, every individual has.
Why you said people Duryodhan to Vidura?
No idea.
मैंने विदुर महाराज को क्यों उनको वो डांटा फटकारा इंसल्ट किया क्यों कारण क्या?
So the question is why Duryodhan is insulting Vidura in such a manner? Why? So what is the answer? You know better.
नहीं एक्चुअली आंसर उसी में है जो वो उसके पिताजी को बता रहा था ना कि ये ऐसा ऐसा करो तुम दुर्योधन के लिए उसी में है।
Because Duryodhana is angry that Vidura is trying to advise his father, Duryodhana's father Dhritarashtra, and he's thinking, Duryodhana is thinking that actually he is advising my father in such a way that which is favoring my enemies, my Pandavas, right? And whatever advice he's giving is just beneficial to my enemies, and so that's why he's angry and insulting Duryodhana, right?
Also, yes, Vidura just directly told his father that he was a useless son.
Right.
Right, father. So he's there with Shakuni and Karna and the others, kind of like, you did that.
Like Maharaj mentions here, or mentioned here that Vidura mentioned to Dhritarashtra directly that how Duryodhana is a useless son, and so of course Duryodhana cannot tolerate this. This is just like putting a step on stepping on a poisonous snake, right? What that poisonous snake is going to do. Even in this purport, Prabhupada is mentioning the same thing, just like Prabhupada is saying that if you give good counsel to a foolish person, it causes the fool to become angry, just as feeding milk to a snake only increases its venomous poison. So that's why Duryodhana is angry, because he was insulted by Vidura in such a manner. So any more points? Or? Thank you very much. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.